from our studios in beautiful Mandan, North Dakota, along the mighty Missouri River. Here is your guru of geek, Marlo Anderson.
So summer is here, and that means travel. Today we'll go over the top travel apps and websites to make your trips easier and more fun. Later in the show, Miss Metaverse, Katie Aquino, will be bringing us the latest and must-have travel gadgets. So the theme today, of course, is travel. I bet you got that already, didn't you, producer extraordinaire, Mr. Jim Walsh?
I'm kind of picking up on it, yeah.
Do you like to do any traveling?
When I can afford to. I mean, it's been kind of tight last couple of years because of my grad school.
Okay.
But yeah, I mean, when I have the money, by all means, I love them road trips.
So what do you like to do when you travel? I mean, is it are you a road trip kind of guy? Are you to fly to a destination type of person?
Well, I like the scenic route.
Okay.
I mean, I used to live in the Southwest along Route 66.
Sure.
And you talk about your scenic routes. I mean, the whole thing is one big long scenic route.
Yep.
And I used to love that ride from into Texas, New Mexico. I've been through Oklahoma, the general alignment. A lot of it's not there anymore.
Yep.
A lot of the old blacktop is not there. It's been replaced by the interstate, but it's still the same general area.
Sure.
So it's a real nice trip.
I would. That's kind of on my bucket list of things to do is to do Route 66 sometime. I've been on bits and pieces of it, but I've never done the whole thing, and I think that'd be kind of fun. So, yeah, we're gonna go over some of the apps and things that make your travel a little bit easier and maybe more fun, and so that's kind of what we're gonna get into today. And the first thing that I have on my list is an app called TripIt. And I think you and I have talked about this before.
Sure rings a bell.
Yeah, it is it's an app, of course, and what it does is, let's say you book a hotel and you book a flight on another service, and all these emails start coming in with these confirmations and things like that. Yeah. If you do this right with TripIt, it actually brings all this information, aggregates it into one place. So your car rental's in one place, your hotel room's in one place, and TripIt keeps track of all of this stuff for you, which is kind of cool. Your train tickets, your hotels, your flights, all these confirmations are in one place, so that if you ever need that confirmation, you get to the hotel and they're like, well, you don't have a hotel reservation. You can just pull out your TripIt app and say, well, here it is. So it can save you a lot of aggravation. So I really like TripIt, and it's, of course, free. So you got to love that as well. Postagram. Are you familiar with Postagram?
Again, the name is very familiar.
I don't think we've ever talked about it on the show before, but it is popular. I love this app. This is such a cool thing. I'm sure you've sent postcards in the past.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. So this is kind of the modern postcard. What you can do is, let's say you take a photo on your trip or something, and you think that's kind of cool. Let's say we were out traveling, and I'm like, Jim, I should send Jim a postcard from where I'm at. I can actually take that photo, send it into Postagram, and for $1 or 99 cents, they will send you a postcard of that photo.
Whoa.
And that includes the postage.
Excellent.
I think for $1, that's kind of a cool deal.
Yeah.
So it's something that I've never done before, but I think the next time, in fact, I might even just do a couple over the 4th of July weekend here and just have a little fun sending people postcards.
Yeah, send me one.
I'll do that. That would be fun to do. So
just to see what it looks like.
Sure, absolutely. Events are always a big deal when you travel. I don't know if you're like me, Jim, but when I get to a place, I'm more about finding what's going on with the locals than I am about the tourist attractions. I like the tourist attractions, but I love the local atmosphere. Where do people go to eat? Where do people, what kind of entertainment's going on, that type of thing.
Well, it's like people to go to Hawaii. I've never been there, but everybody I know who's been there says the same thing. They say, get away from the main islands.
Right.
Get away from all the touristy stuff and go get off the beaten path. That's
exactly
all the interesting. That's the real Hawaii.
Exactly. And there's a couple apps out there that can help you with that. One is called the Event Guru. The Guru of Geek, the Event Guru. Yeah, I had to throw that out there, of course. But
different guy, right?
Yeah, exactly. Okay. Yeah, different thing altogether. But it will take you into these things. And actually, the app is called Goby, Goby. But they bill themselves as the Event Guru. And basically, it aggregates all these events that are going on in the area, and you can just pull up a particular day or whatever, and it'll tell you if there's a particular meeting going on, if there's a convention in town that maybe you're interested in attending, if there's a beer or wine tasting going on in a local restaurant. all of these different things that are going on, and might get you involved more in the local flavor instead. So.
Like if somebody were coming to Bismarck, and let's say they were here last week.
Right.
And they were looking for something to do, they would find out about the art and wine walk.
Exactly. Or if you're a softball fan, you'd have found out about although I'm sure
Clydesdale's going to be in town.
You could have just followed that the stream of cars wherever and figured that one out, I guess. But yeah, did you see the Clydesdales? By the way?
Did not get to see them. I have seen Clydesdale's horses before.
Okay,
not the official Budweiser ones.
Right.
They have one at the zoo in town here.
Yes. Yeah, they're very majestic animals, and
they're beautiful.
Fun to see them in action.
We have a video on the website.
Oh, great. Yeah, if you want to check that out, go check out the Clydesdales.
Supertalk1270.com.
Very cool. Yeah, and another one that I actually use more than Gobi is one called Eventbrite. And I actually book events. I'll put up my events that I'm doing on Eventbrite so people can, get a free ticket or a paid ticket or whatever to it. But it is a great way to find out what's going on in there. And I almost always use Eventbrite when I'm going someplace. I kind of like the startup culture, so I attend startup events that are going on, and I use Eventbrite to find out where those are going on when I'm in a particular town. So kind of a fun deal. Wi-Fi, always a big deal when you're traveling nowadays.
Yeah.
A person doesn't always have the availability of using maybe what you have with your smartphone, or maybe you don't have a plan with your smartphone, or you want to get on with your computer and do some work or whatever. So having a place to find free Wi-Fi is always a big deal. And there's actually an app called Free Wi-Fi Finder.
Oh, it tells you where in the destination you can go.
Or you're sitting in a restaurant someplace, or you're traveling down the road, and you're like, hey, I got to hop online someplace. It'll look at your location and tell you right around, where you're at, where there's free Wi-Fi. But I always caution people with free Wi-Fi because there might be people lurking that are looking to steal your passwords and things like that. So, don't use on free Wi-Fi, don't use your usernames and passwords and things or bank accounts because people can steal those right out of
Have you seen that new CSI show?
I don't think so.
Oh, you have to check it out. It's all about computers. It's all about internet stuff. And people getting ripped off and pirated, and it's good.
I may have to check out an episode.
And you just made me think of that because they've done that very subject a couple of times.
Oh yeah, it's very, very easy to do. I won't say I've done it myself, but I've monitored other people looking, on a free Wi-Fi network and watching people type in their username and passwords.
Yeah.
And I was able to do this in just a minute. So it scares me that people have this capability, and I just wanted to check it out one time to see how easy it is to do. And it is. So you have to be very careful when you're traveling or anywhere on free Wi-Fi because they can steal that information from you.
Yeah, they talk about terrorists lingering out there in the deep web.
Oh, sure.
That is.
Absolutely. So after the break, everybody, we will continue our conversation on travel apps. So come on back.
Right now, 75.
Our own radio station. Not Fargo, not the Twin Cities. Proud to be Bismarck and Mandan's own Super Talk 1270.
Follow the Guru of Geek at Facebook.com/The Tech Ranch or Twitter at Guru of Geek or TheTechRanch.com. Here again is your Guru of Geek, Marlo Anderson.
And thanks for listening to us on the Blueberry Network. It's not working, Jim.
What's not working?
Uh-oh. I was going to try to use Google Translate. Let's try it again here.
Okay, Google Translator.
Hello, Jim Walsh. Wow.
Oh, supposed to...
here, let's see. Let me try it again here.
Okay, Marlo's got his phone, and he's...
Hello, Jim Walsh.
What was it you were doing earlier with you? You were saying something about anchovies.
Yes, it was actually, I don't know what I've done wrong here now, but that's too bad. I said I would like pizza or anchovies on my pizza, and of course it responded back. So I'm playing with Google Translate here, and let's see if we can get it to go. Okay. Hello, Jim Walsh.
What language?
Okay, bonjour, Jim Walsh.
Sounds French.
It is French, so let's see here. I would like anchovies on my pizza.
Je voudrais anchois sur ma pizza.
So I find that this is an amazing app. I mean, isn't that amazing that you could travel around the world and with your smartphone probably have a conversation with people.
Yeah.
You know, if you don't know how to speak French or Spanish, there's over 40 languages that this thing will translate right now. So there's a lot of places you can go that you probably wouldn't feel comfortable going because you couldn't communicate with people.
Mexico.
This is a fantastic way. And the other thing with Google Translate, and by the way, this is a free program again that you put on your smart device. It's just amazing. The thing I love about Google Translate is they have a thing called Word Lens on it. So let's say you have a traffic sign that you come up on and you don't know what it says. You can actually use Google Translate, put the word lens up there, and it'll tell you what it says. You're in a restaurant and you have no idea what you're looking at. The word lens will actually decipher that menu and tell you what's going on. It's the coolest thing.
Amazing.
So, gotta love it. It's really, really a cool thing. So, you got to check out Google Translate when you get a chance. So,
Hello.
Hello, is this the AIDS program?
I'm betting they have the wrong number.
I'm sorry, what program, ma'am?
AIDS
I don't think so.
No, ma'am. You have the tech program.
Tech program.
Yes.
The Tech Ranch.
We talk about technology.
Sorry.
That's quite all right. Thank you.
That's
Thank
okay.
you. I think she might have the wrong station.
I'm thinking she might. She
Okay.
might. So anyway, so you got to check out Google Translate when you get a chance. I'm kind of looking through my notes here. Oh, come on. I typed everything out on paper today, and of course that's not working. It is Monday, so Google Translate, repeat your words in foreign language of your choice, and of course you can type things in too, and it'll translate that as well. So it's really a cool thing. The currency converter is another thing that if you're traveling abroad, you can utilize this. The cool thing and it's called OANDA, OANDA currency converter. Okay. So if you're traveling through a different country and you're wondering how to change, dollars to pounds, or even the U.S. dollar to the Canadian dollar, this really comes in handy when you're making those purchases and that type of thing. So you really want to do that. Gas Buddy. Are you familiar with Gas Buddy?
Oh, yes. It's a website, right?
It is, and Gas Buddy, and it's also an app. And probably the biggest thing, and I don't know if you've ever run into this, Jim, but you're traveling along, and it's time for you to fuel up, and you pull off the interstate or whatever, and you purchase some fuel, and then you decide, I wonder if I shouldn't, I'll run downtown and pick something else up or whatever, right? So you go downtown off the interstate, and 4 blocks later, they're selling fuel for 15 cents a gallon less.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I hate that.
It happens all the time because they know that they have a very active audience for people pulling off the interstate. So a lot of times they'll charge a little bit of a premium, of course, because you're pulling off the interstate. If you knew that 4 blocks away it was 15 cents a gallon, most people would make the trip, I think.
Yeah, I think so.
So
4 blocks away save that. Sure.
Absolutely. I mean, on a tank of gas, that's a couple bucks.
Well, you're paying for the convenience. You get right off, and a lot of people don't care. They just get right off.
That's
they go,
correct.
I need gas. Just give me the gas so I can get back on the road.
Exactly.
So you're paying for the convenience. And, that's
and
understandable.
That's okay. But
if you want to save a few pennies, why not?
Absolutely. On Gas Buddy, again, it's a free app. You can put that on your thing, and away you go. Speaking of savings as well, Orbitz. I know we talk about Orbitz often on the show.
Sure.
There's a couple others like Price Finder and things like that. But I use Orbitz a lot. When I travel, a lot of times I don't have a reservation because I don't know where I'm going to end up for the evening. I'm sure you've run into this too.
Oh, yeah.
And instead of calling around to 15, 20 hotels or hoping that you run across a billboard someplace that gives you a phone number, you actually can hop onto Orbitz and they'll have last-minute deals that come up and they'll show you who's got hotels for that evening in that particular town. I remember one time standing in the line in Rapid City, this is a couple of years ago, and I sat in the parking lot of this hotel and actually booked my hotel night on the app, and it was like $60, and the rack rate was like $150 a night. And I walked in, and they sold the last room for $180 to this couple, and I'm like, I just sat in the parking lot and booked this for $60.
Whoa.
So I was just like, this app is worth its weight in gold to me because I just saved $120 over that couple that just bought the last room for the
I
night.
would
So,
definitely want something like that if
Yeah.
I was on the road.
Yeah.
What about AAA? I imagine AAA is getting into it. Do you know specifically what they're doing?
I don't know. That's interesting.
Yeah.
I wonder if they do have an app. We'll have to check into that.
I'm sure they do. We can do a little research maybe
Sure.
during the commercial break.
Sure, because that's a great idea. Because you're right. Because I've used AAA.
Yeah, me
broke
too.
down or whatever. It's nice to have. I don't know if they have an app or not.
I used
so.
to have them for the towing service. Now I get that through my insurance.
Sure.
But yeah, it's a good service.
It is a good service, so we'll have to check into that. The Gate Guru. When you travel via airport, ever been in an airport and you have no idea where you're going?
Yeah, oh yeah.
It happens all the time. Until you get familiar with the airport, because these things are large complexes, lots of tunnels and everything else going on.
The Atlanta airport is larger than a lot of cities I've lived in.
Yeah, it's amazing how big some of these places are. And so the Gate Guru is a personal airport assistant. So you hop in there, and it actually gives you ratings on like the restaurants that are in the airport. Good. So if you're looking for a nice quality food or inexpensive food or whatever, you can do that. It has a tips section in there, so it'll help. The tip section may help you navigate the airport more efficiently. Maybe how to check your luggage in better. It gives you estimated wait times for security and all this other stuff. So if you don't know maybe what time you need to get to the airport, going to the Bismarck Airport here locally, of course, is a lot different than boarding in another one, because here you can hop. They always say 2 hours, but I know a lot of people that still go out there an hour beforehand and make their flight just fine.
Well, if I'm flying to my hometown, I go to the Philadelphia airport from here. And it's one thing getting on here because, like you say, it's a relatively small venue.
Right.
But flying back, when you have to get into Philly's a major airport.
Right.
And, 2 or 3 hours, maybe 4 hours is not unheard of.
It's not unheard of. Yes. Yeah. And as you know, I fly in out of Vegas occasionally because of CES or whatever. During CES times, they estimate 3 to 4 hours to get there, in advance. And they're right, because they're very, very efficient at that airport, but there are times that the lines can be extraordinarily long.
Any of your major hubs, New York, Atlanta,
are
all like that.
Yeah, you need to give them a little extra time. So the Gate Guru will help you with that, planning your itinerary a little bit better. Uber. You and I have talked a lot about Uber a lot on this. The alternative to maybe getting a taxi or whatever. Uber is expanding even into foreign countries a little bit now, so you have that ability to maybe save a couple dollars, plus get more expeditious travel, from like the airport to, wherever you're going by booking, instead of standing in line for a taxi or whatever, which always amazes me, by the way. They form these lines for taxis. I don't know if you've noticed this. I don't know if it's a recent phenomenon or not either, but when we travel a little bit now, it just seems like the lines for taxi cabs just get longer and longer and longer all the time. Everybody's got to have their little bit of control over that line, so everybody gets that little extra tip or whatever it is. It just amazes me. But Uber is a way to get around from all of that, so that's an interesting thing. Although I don't know if Uber is, I'm guessing it's probably frowned upon, of course, by the taxi community.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure they don't like it.
They don't like it at all, and I'm sure that there might be some places that you can't use Uber, maybe at an airport or whatever, because the taxis control that a little bit. But I would always
towns
check.
where the taxis are well organized, again, New York springs to mind immediately.
Exactly. I think Vegas is the same way. I don't think Uber is allowed in Vegas right now, although they're going to have to, the pressure of not allowing that is going to come to bear here, I'm sure, and sooner or later they will be there as well. So let's see. What else I got? TripAdvisor. This is kind of a cool thing. It's a crowdsourced guide to hotels, restaurants, and attractions worldwide. So, and a lot of people use TripAdvisor. You eat at a restaurant and you belong to TripAdvisor, you give it a rating as to, if you enjoyed it, what you liked about it, what you didn't like about it. So then people, when they're going there later on, can see, through a crowdsourcing type of thing, maybe 80%, 90% of the people like the restaurant. The other 10% didn't care for it, whatever. It kind of tells you what's going on with that. So TripAdvisor is a very, very powerful tool. And I know restaurants really, really work hard to make sure they have great ratings on TripAdvisor. So you need to look at that. The last one on my list is Expensify. And this is an app I love. Expensify, just like it sounds, EXPENSIFY. especially if you're a travel or a business traveler, then Expensify is great to have on your phone. It keeps an easy expense report for your trip. So it allows you to track expenses, photo log receipts, and even import a purchase info from your credit card for IRS validated e-receipts. Yes, that's correct. You can actually use this for your IRS stuff. The best feature, in my opinion, is the Smart Scan, and that allows you to photograph a receipt, and then it reads it and then itemizes it. So it's a very, very cool app. There's a free version and a paid version as well. Expensify. And if you're a business traveler, even if you're not, I mean, if you do the occasional travel, whatever, it's nice to kind of have this one to keep track of your receipts and that type of thing.
Well, it's always a good thing. You want to save money when you're
of course.
traveling, whatever reason.
Of course. And, of course, if you can save a couple dollars on taxes, that's a good thing as well. So, after the break, everybody, Miss Metaverse Katie Aquino will be joining us about the latest in tech and travel. So come on back.
Right now, 75.
Get the app called Radio Pup for your iPhone and take us everywhere you go. Bismarck and Mandan's own Super Talk 1270.
We're back to the Tech Ranch. Stream this program now at supertalk1270.com. Here is your guru of geek, Marlo Anderson.
And we want to thank all of our listeners across the country and around the world who follow us on the Blueberry Network, on the Tech Podcast Network. If it's tech, it's here. Of course, we're on iTunes, we're on the Roku, we're on Tuned In, and of course, our own app, Radio Pup, which is a great little app, too, if you want to follow us wherever you go. So
And free.
And free. That's right. You got to throw that out there, too. Got to love Radio Pup. So joining us on the phone, Miss Metaverse, Katie Aquino. How you doing, Katie?
I'm doing well, Marlo. How are you doing?
I'm doing good as well. Of course, the theme today is travel, and as we were texting back and forth this morning, we were talking about what we're going to have you talk about, and I kind of task you to find the coolest, most ingenious travel gadgets out there. So, are you ready?
Yes, I am.
All right. So, bring up the first gadget you got.
All right. So, first of all, there's supposed to be so many people traveling this summer. It's unbelievable. A recent report by the AAA actually projected that over 37.2 million Americans kicked off their summer travel plans on Memorial Day weekend.
Wow. You know, and you had just mentioned AAA. Jim and I were just talking about this before the break. Do you know if they have an app?
AAA app?
Yes.
I'm not sure. I would imagine so. I know, it's one of those things, right? We always think about the cards, but wouldn't it just make more sense if we just had an app as our card as well?
As you're talking about your next gadget here, I'm looking that up right now. So okay, keep going.
Awesome. All right, this is another one that I saw. This is great. I mean, I was looking through all kinds of different summer travel type of tech, and I found so many great ones. I'm super excited to share.
Cool.
One of the first ones I'd have to say is one of my favorites, and that's called Scrubba. Have you heard of Scrubba?
I'm not familiar with Scrubba, no.
All right. Scrubba is a compact wash bag that only weighs 5 ounces, and it promises to wash your clothes as well as a washer machine.
So how does it do that?
So it's only 5 ounces. It's this tiny, tiny little bag. And it has, I don't exactly know what it features allows you to do it. It's kind of, I don't know, it doesn't really have many details on it. You can check it out at www.thescrubba.com, but it's only $55, which if you think about it, when you're away, you're at a hotel, right? It costs so much money to get your clothes washed, right? I mean, they give you those little bags, and they offer you to either dry clean or wash your clothes, but I mean, sometimes we want to be able to just wash our own clothes when we're traveling. So I think this bag is really neat.
So you put put your clothes in the bag, and then you throw it like in the shower or something, and then it cleans them, or? I
believe so. I would have to say it's got to probably have some kind of way, some kind of built-in, I don't know, like a thing that you like scrub up against your clothes. It looks like a mesh.
Okay.
What it has, it's like this green bag, and you can wear it as a backpack. And you open it up, and it looks like this kind of mesh. So I guess you probably put the soap in one end, and then you just basically manually scrub it, is what it looks like. And then I guess you could just line dry it and wash your clothes. But it promises that this washboard, it's a flexible internal washboard. So whatever they have inside this thing, they say that you just rub, and by you rubbing in this material, It's actually patent pending, too, which is pretty interesting. But by doing that, you're actually washing your clothes as well as your at-home washing machine, which is great.
That's pretty cool. It really is. Jim has an update for us.
Oh, you do?
Yes. So, what'd you find out, Mr. Jim?
Let me see if I can stretch my microphone over here. Yeah, AAA has several apps available.
Okay.
For various purposes. An insurance app, a triptych app, which I assume is like those map things they give you.
Oh, okay. Okay.
And I see a map here that's available through iTunes. See if I can read this here with my trusty $2
reading glasses.
Market reading glasses here. Travel planner. It looks like, okay, I see it includes a function for finding hotels and checking them out, what their ratings are. And
so it sounds like
an
Orbitz type of thing, too, where you can book a hotel and that type of thing. So, okay.
But from what I'm seeing here, they have several apps for different purposes.
Very good. Very good. So for those AAA users out there are some apps that you can get. So sorry to break into you like that, Katie, but go ahead and bring us to your next gadget.
Okay, so, and this is another one of my favorites. So ThinkGeek.com has cardigans and hoodies that I guess they're by this one brand, which is called SEV, like Sev, or the Scotty vest. And I actually really like these. I haven't bought one myself, but I've been kind of wanting to for a while now. And so they come in different forms. One is a hoodie, and the other one is a ladies' cardigan. And basically, they're specifically for geeks because you're supposed to be able to put all of your tech and your knickknacks all inside your cardigan or your hoodie in all these pockets. So they feature a lot of pockets that can accommodate lots of different things. So the hoodie features 10 pockets, and the 10 pockets include 2 hand warmers. The interior is divided, so you have the whole left and right side, along where the zipper is. It also has an elasticized change pocket. So when you have a lot of change, you could just throw it in, and your pocket actually stretches to accommodate all the change. And it also has 2 more drop-in pockets as well. And these pockets are great because they can accommodate devices as big as an iPad mini or your phones, especially now. I mean, I have the iPhone 6 Plus, and it's so large. It's so hard to be able to store it, without having it in my bag.
Right.
And also it has an elastic key holder, a change pocket, and it has a personal area network. I'm not sure what that means exactly, but it seems pretty cool.
So a PAN. So I'm guessing that you can turn your Wi-Fi that you probably have on your iPhone 6 into, maybe expand the Wi-Fi hotspot a little bit, because there's probably some mesh built into it or whatever to expand on that antenna from your phone.
I believe so, yes. That's what it seems like.
Okay, we'll have to check.
And overall, yeah, I mean, both this one and the ladies' cardigan sell for $74.99. But and it's funny, they said the ladies' cardigan is described as a geek bride's tackle box because it fits everything from lip gloss to gum, nail polish, stain remover, credit cards, sunglasses, pretty much everything you would need for traveling. And when you're thinking about traveling, I mean, last thing we want to do when we're going on an adventure and excursion is have to carry like all these bags and things on us. So
right.
I like being able to have that option.
Sure. Okay. Next on your list.
Okay. This one is really funny. I actually watched this. I think it was on Shark Tank. This is called the Ugg Bug Bed Bug Detector.
Okay.
Which I think is awesome because, we do a lot of traveling and things like that. And even the nicest hotels, have instances where bed bugs could come in, right?
Sure.
Because there's so many people traveling, especially
sure.
at high area of hotels. So anyway, the Ugg Bug Bed Bug Detector, it's a tiny device that uses a specific UV frequency to detect bed bug droppings and eggs. And what it does is when you're scanning, you could use it to scan your bedding, your mattress, your chairs, and, basically when you're using it, this UV frequency will actually cause it to light up. So you'll be able to see if there's anything in your hotel room.
Interesting.
Don't let the bed bugs bite.
So it's called the Ugg Bug.
Yes, you can check it out at www.ughbug, so uggbug.com. You could buy them on Amazon. You can also get them at Home Depot, and they only cost $9.99. So,
oh wow,
it's
worth it. Yeah.
Well, yeah, absolutely. $10 for that? That's a pretty good deal, actually. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool. Ugg Bug. Okay. What's next on your list?
This is actually the last on my list because I kind of wanted to open it up to discussion. But
Okay.
this last one is one of my favorites, and I think we might have lightly touched upon it before, and I bet you can guess it. Has to do with luggage.
Let's see. Oh, it has to do with luggage.
Luggage.
All right. Well, I'm going to just let you take it because I'm going to guess wrong, I'm thinking.
No, I know you know this one. This is the Blue Smart Carry-On. It's the world's first smart connected luggage, and it is awesome.
Okay. So,
All right.
So is this
So this
who's manufacturing this?
I'm not sure. I think it's Blue Smart. I think it's all I saw was Blue Smart Carry-On, bluesmart.com. So you can check it out at www.blue, as in blue, smart, smart.com. I don't see any company behind it. At least I didn't when I was lightly going through it.
So, Jim, I think you and I talked about a Samsonite luggage that had a tracker built into
Yeah,
it just
the
the last couple weeks ago.
She brought that up, I thought of Samsonite for some reason.
Yeah, I think they're actually mimicking this technology.
Yeah.
But go ahead and explain a little bit about what this luggage does.
All right, so this carry-on luggage, it basically syncs with your mobile device, and what it does is it has a lot of different features, which are all really great. It's kind of like, wow, why didn't I think of that, you know? So basically it features location tracking, Bluetooth locking, USB battery charge, it has a smart scale, and a trip data app. So everything is connected to an app, and it's great. I mean, it has so many different great features that are just really, really fun. I mean, one of my favorites would have to be being able to be reminded if you walk away from your bag or you can't find your bag. The bag is smart, you know, and actually will notify you if you walk too far away from your bag. It'll also automatically lock if you walk away from your bag, which is great. My ultimate favorite feature is the built-in scale. So, I mean, this happened to me when I was coming back from Bismarck. I went to check in, and they weighed my luggage, and they told me I was, I don't know, 3 or 4 pounds over. So I had to figure out what 3 or 4 pounds of things I could leave behind because, you know, you have to pay, what, $100 for
it can be expensive.
Luggage.
Yep.
Yes. So this is great. It has a built-in scale. So once you're all packed up, ready to go, your bag will actually, through the app, you can check out and see exactly how much your bag weighs before going to check it, which is awesome.
That is actually a very cool feature.
Yeah, right?
Wow. Okay. Well, I have to admit, I've never heard of this bag before. So, and it is not the Samsonite bag, obviously, Jim, because it is. Samsonite just had the tracker part of it built into it, not all these other gadgets, I guess I could say. So, after the break, everybody, we will continue our discussion on travel gadgets. So, coming back.
Right now, 81.
Get the traffic and weather information you need anytime on Super Talk 1270 and online at supertalk1270.com.
Follow the Guru of Geek everywhere he goes. Post your comments or questions at thetechranch.com. Once again, your Guru of Geek, Marlo Anderson.
And in studio, we have producer extraordinaire Jim Walsh, and on the phone, Miss Metaverse Katie Aquino, and we've been talking about travel apps, travel gadgets, and the last part of the program here, we're probably going to talk about a variety of travel maybe issues and things that you need to watch out for. But I do have a couple gadgets, Katie, that I want to bring up before we move the conversation forward here.
Awesome.
Okay, so the first thing that is kind of, I got two go-to things here, and I see Jim's kind of busy with another project right now, so I'll try to describe this, but I have Jim's moved over back here, so what?
Okay.
That's okay. Well, so what did I just give you there, Jim?
Looks and feels like a heavy deck of cards. Well, it does.
Okay.
Or a kind of like a Oh, it's like a transistor radio, actually. is what
That
it looks
actually,
like.
that's a very good analogy as to the size of
Yeah.
it too. But on the one side, what are you looking at right there?
Okay, how would you describe this?
I would call it solar cells.
Oh, okay. So you would go out and hold it up to the sun, and it would do what?
It would charge the battery that's inside this thing.
Okay.
And then it's got USB ports on it, so I can plug my device into it and let the sun charge it.
Whoa.
Awesome.
It's pretty cool, isn't it?
That does not suck.
Definitely not.
So it's a 5,000 milliamp battery. So what you do is before you head on the road or wherever you're going, you charge it at home or at your office or
Yeah.
whatever. Okay, so it's fully charged. And then you just leave it in the car or wherever you're traveling. And if you ever need a backup for whatever device you have, you can plug it in. In fact, this device that you're holding there actually holds, you can plug two devices into it at the same
Yeah.
time to charge it. And if you don't have the availability to charge it at any time, just leave it in the sun. And
Are
it
these on
slowly
the market?
charges. They are on the market.
They are on
Yeah,
the market.
yeah,
Okay.
$20.
Not bad.
Not bad at all. And in fact, I'm surprised at how often I use this. In fact, I actually use it to charge drone batteries. I'll be out flying a drone or whatever, and if my first battery goes dead, I just plug it into this thing and let it charge up some more.
By the way, they're selling drones now at Barnes & Noble.
They're selling drones everywhere.
I
Yeah.
I just found that amusing for some reason.
Yeah.
I walked in there and going to look at the magazines and, drones. Okay.
At Barnes & Noble.
At Barnes & Noble.
Wow.
Kid
Well,
you
you got to read something to fly them, I guess. So.
I guess.
Yeah. So, okay. So then my next one. So I think that's a must-have travel device right there.
I would say so, yes.
Because you need this you can charge up whatever, if
Yeah.
your camera goes dead or whatever. So the next doohickey I gave, Jim, what
got little
can you
cords
describe
here.
there?
It's kind of like a little hydro. You got one charger thingy at the one end, and at the other end you've got four different shapes of four different formats, I guess.
Right.
Of,
So
plugs.
So basically, it's a USB cord.
Okay.
You got your standard USB on the one side, so that would fit into this device or your computer or
Yeah.
whatever. Okay, and then on the other end of it, it has four adapters: one for your iPhone
Right.
or iProducts. One is a mini USB. One's a micro USB, and one's a round charging device. I suppose for maybe some cell phones or whatever.
Yeah.
But you could use this instead of carrying a bunch of different cables. You can plug this into any. Jim's trying it on his phone right now, as a
Yeah,
matter
okay.
of fact. Basically, I think
Yeah, it fits.
this thing will fit over 90% of the devices out there. So instead of carrying a bunch of different cables, you carry this one. And the other cool thing with this, like I checked it out last night, I was charging my phone and a camera at the same time with this device. So you
Okay.
don't have to, you could probably charge up to four different devices with this cable at the same time too, if you had the four different
That's
devices
awesome.
hooked up
Yeah.
to it. So very, very cool and very expensive, $7.99 for this. So basically, the reason I'm showing both of these to you, Jim, and talking to you, Katie, about these is that for under $30, I have developed basically a rechargeable system using solar, using the sun, to charge up your devices for under $30. So I'll actually write about that later. So I thought that's pretty cool. Others on my list is and I don't know if everybody's going to like this or not, but I'm starting to kind of like this. Have you ever gone somewhere and you're walking maybe through a garden or something and you're like, man, I should just be videoing this as I walk through this,
Yeah.
right? There's a lot of devices now, pocket cameras, I guess you could say. They're clip-on, so like on your shirt pocket, Jim, you could clip on. I have one of these. You clip it onto the pocket, turn it on, and it just records everything as you're walking through.
Oh, okay.
So you're not hanging onto a camera or anything like this. It's just part of what you're wearing.
And it's just a little tiny thing fits in your pocket.
It is as small as the end of this USB cord. You don't even know that you have it on.
So it's a camcorder, but it's the size of a
Yeah, it's a quarter.
a ladybug, I guess.
Yeah,
a quarter.
a
okay.
quarter. Somewhere in that neighborhood with a little clip on the end of it.
Yeah.
And HD camera on this thing. 720 is what it records at, and has a battery life of about 4 hours. So not bad at all. So you could you could plug this. You see a lot of cameras now in cars. You see those little accidents that happen. I mean, if you're going through a canyon, you could clip this on to maybe somewhere around your windshield, so you could record the trip as you're driving through. There's just a lot of cool
Yeah,
things.
you see a lot of those on YouTube, and they're all from Russia for some reason.
Well, the cameras in vehicles are huge in Europe.
Okay.
Absolutely huge. In fact, I think some countries are actually requiring them now. We're just a little behind the times here in the United
we
States.
are a little behind the curve.
Yep. And then the last one that I have is called the Gorilla Pod. And it's kind of hard to describe, but think of it as it's about 2 feet long, and it's a tripod type of device that you hook up to your camera. And you plug it into, or you screw it into the bottom of the camera, and then you can wrap this thing around about anything. So you could wrap it around the microphone stands here, and it'll support your camera. Or you could wrap it around a door handle, and it'll hold your camera in place. So, and it's very, very lightweight and very easy to carry. So those are my couple different things. So, anything else that you wanted to add, Katie?
No. I mean, summer travel, there's so many things that we could do. But, I think there's a lot of exciting things. And also, I'll be writing more ideas on my website, which is www.futuristmm.com. I cannot talk today. Oh, my goodness.
It is Monday. We go through that every time here, too. And there's a lot of different things. I think the one challenge that we all have with traveling is that we're starting to gadget up again. There's about 10 years ago where I was really excited when smartphones were coming out and you could utilize so much thing in a smartphone. I mean, in tablets, things are getting smaller, right? But why is it that we're all of a sudden carrying more and more things again? I carry a whole gadget bag. The thing must weigh 45, 50 pounds. And I thought at one time we were supposed to be getting smaller with this stuff. I don't know. What's your take on that, Jim?
Well, I don't carry that much stuff. Basically, I have my iPhone, and I don't currently have a laptop, but I'll probably get one. And I understand that they're a lot lighter than they used to be.
They are, yes. Yeah, absolutely. Katie, have you experienced this? Are you carrying more gadgets again?
Yes, you are totally right. Well, but it's the Internet of Things, right? I mean,
it is the Internet of Things.
We talk a lot about these emerging trends, and I think we'll be seeing more gadgets and gizmos, and they are very helpful. I think there's a lot of great things coming out.
But I can't imagine traveling anymore without your smartphone.
No, definitely not.
We haven't even brought that up yet. I mean, that is by far the number one travel accessory.
About once or twice a month, I leave it at home, and I miss it. I do.
I tried to divorce myself from my smartphone on Saturday. I actually got through most of the day, and unfortunately, I write an article every day, so I don't have any choice but to get on the computer. I need to actually start scheduling that a little bit better too. But it's good to do that occasionally. But you're right. I mean, it is important. It's our communication tool. It's our logging tool. It's our mapping tool. I mean, all these things are in one. It's like the Swiss Army knife that we used to carry.
Yeah,
it really is. It really is. So, are there any must-go-to apps that you use, Katie, when you're traveling?
Well, I mean, there's a lot. I mean, it depends. I think it's great that with the iPhone, when I have a plane ticket, a lot of times I could just have it, my ticket added to my passbook, so I know exactly where my ticket is. I could just use it and scan it on my phone.
Sure.
That's great. And you're right. I really believe too. We all need our cell phone with us, and even look at the Blue Smart luggage, right? It's a great, neat kind of luggage, but then again, if you don't have your phone, it's entirely connected to your phone.
Absolutely.
I mean, if you walk away from it, your bag will lock. So you're going to need your phone to use the bag.
Yep.
And I think we'll be seeing more of this. So there's going to be a lot of pressure for us to have our mobile devices on us in order to use other things. So I think that's a change too in the future. Being able to. You have to have your phone on you now. You cannot not have your phone.
Right.
And that's where we're headed.
Yeah, exactly. Well, and I think about the, even the wearables that we're getting into, all of these things are connected. There's going to be some day it'll probably be just like Back to the Future where, your shoes get wet and your smartphone will figure out a way to tell you that your shoes are past a certain point, and it'll dry them off for you. I mean, these are crazy things. We need to do a show, by the way, on Back to the Future. What's the date on that? Is it October 11th?
It was this year, right?
Yes, it is.
2015.
It's like October 11th, 2015. I'm just throwing that out
for
there.
For the second of the movie, which was the best of the three,
yes,
by the way.
Yeah.
Far and away the best.
I'm just throwing an idea for a show in the future.
October 21st.
October 21st?
Yes, October 21st, 2015, which is right before my birthday. Yay!
We'll have to do that. We'll have to talk about.
Well, I
that.
read where somebody just finally got started on a prototype of the flying surfboard.
Yes. Yeah, that was actually a big deal back in the 80s. And
skateboard, whatever.
Hoping to come back again here. So, all right. Again, thanks, Katie. We're at the end of the show. Jim, pleasure as always.
Always.
And next week we'll have a brand new topic, of course, that we'll be discussing in the world of technology. So we'll see you again next week.